My name's Thomas Sakrowski,
My name is Chelsie Sakrowski.
and we're going to be making a sausage, biscuit, and gravy casserole for Mother's Day.
Alright, so first you're going to want to wash your hands. You're going to want to use warm water and let your hands be sore. And then use some soap, rub, at least 20 seconds. And you're going to want to dry your hands with a paper towel or towel in the kitchen.
So to start us off, we use mise en place by laying out all of our ingredients. We have the sausage that we're going to be making. It's been pre-cut. We're using our measuring cups for good measurements of the milk and flour. Our flour, milk, both of the buttermilk mixes, and then our pan for baking once we're ready. We also have a cutting board and a knife safely placed ready for cutting the sausage.
Alright, so to cook the sausage, you're going to want to turn your stove to a 5.
First, you want to unravel the buttermilk southern biscuit premix. And put on there. It's important to use the right knife for the right job. So this knife isn't very sharp because we're only going to be cutting the premix. And also, if we were to cut meat with this, we would have washed it and sanitized it before to prevent cross-contamination. So if you want to go over here, the recipe calls to cut each of these into 4 individual slices. So that's what we're going to do. And then just keep video on so it's a time lapse.
We're going to cook the sausage, so you're going to want to put the whole thing in there. Just gonna want to And then after that, since I got some meat on my hands, you're going to want to wash your hands. So now you're just going to want to break up the meat and let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. You just want to keep on moving it around. Alright, so we're going to measure out our milk, and it's supposed to be 3 cups, and we're using this. And as you can see, it's right at the 3 cups.
So currently we're distributing the sausage by smashing it with this tool and getting it all around so that it cooks evenly and there's no raw beef. And then we're going to place it safely on the side and we're going to season it with black pepper. Take the lid off and you just go above and you shake it until it's at the same time. And it's important just to get an even coating. And then just to continue to mix that around and make sure that there's even cooking all around. You can tell here, there's more cooked sausage, and then over here there's a little bit more raw, so we need to mix that around a bit. About 1/4 cup of flour to add to our mix with the milk, while Chelsea makes sure that the meat cooks evenly. So I'm going to take this tablespoon, and I'm just going to continuously add flour until we have 1/4 cup. You just want to come and take a close look. Next, the recipe calls for us to transfer the cooked beef onto the baking dish. We're going to use a slotted spoon so that we keep the beef grease in order to cook our gravy better. So what we're going to use is a butter spray to the slight film on the baking dish so that it doesn't stick. And now we're just going to use our slotted spoon to scoop out the cooked beef and transfer it to the baking dish.
put it in the pan, we're gonna want it to melt. And so we're gonna be using this so we don't scratch the bottom of the pan. You just wanna move it around and get it all over the pan.
So the next step in making the gravy is we have our 1/4 cup of flour. And what the flour and the butter is going to do is it's going to make sure that the gravy's thick. So we're going to add the flour. And it's very important to go quick because we don't want it to burn or clump up. So we're going to mix the flour around with the butter. Once again, this is just making sure that the gravy is thick.
And then salt and pepper.
And then adding salt and pepper midway through. And then some salt. You don't want to go too heavy, but you also don't want to go too light. And then just mixing around, making sure that grease and the flour and the butter and the pepper and the salt all are evenly mixed around and it's not burning on the bottom of the pan. After a 1 to 2 minute consistent stirring of this mixture, the recipe calls for us to add our 1 liter of milk. So we're going to add it. And then again, just consistent mixing.
It's a lot of milk.
Yeah, and you're making a lot of gravy.
And just consistent mixing.
Okay, so we've been simmering this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's not the consistency that we want of our gravy, and so we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of flour to make it more thick. And then you just want to keep stirring.
Why did the fire come up? Okay, now we put it in. Oh, wait, so it's not going to come up, but it should go in and start to thicken it. Okay, you might keep.
So after adding a little bit more flour and milk, we've gotten the consistency that we wanted. It's more of a gravy consistency than the watery consistency. And now we're going to pour it into our beef in the baking pot so that it doesn't burn to the bottom. So that's what I'm trying to do is I'm getting it all off the bottom now. And now I'm going to pour it into our beef. I'm just going to get the rest off the bottom of the pan. And just evenly make sure it's all over the beef. And once again, just getting the rest off the pan. Good. You're good.
Alright, now since we're done, we're going to put the biscuit all over on top, and we're not going to bake it until tomorrow since it's Mother's Day. And so what we're going to do, we're going to foil the top and then just put it in the refrigerator.
Go.
Hello, we are back. We have cooked this at a temperature of 350, and we cooked it for about 35 minutes, and this is the finishing look. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed.
Happy Mother's Day.
This is us trying it.
We did serving sizes
Where are
of
they?
plates.
Are they like nesting box?
It's going to be hot, Tommy. Careful.
That's good.
Okay, good?
Yes.
Thumbs up?
Didn't even bite it.